and welcome to Bookish Sisters Podcast. I'm Aly.
And I'm Jaime, and we are two sisters who love talking about books.
We would love it if you would follow us on our social media platforms and subscribe to our YouTube channel. It really helps us out, and we'll keep you in the loop with all things Bookish Sisters Podcast. So today we'll be talking about books that have some sci-fi elements in them.
What comes to mind when you think of sci-fi?
I really usually think of space, probably because they always have those kind of vibes in them.
Yeah, I usually think of, like, space travel, aliens, and, like, futuristic vibes.
Mm-hmm. So let's play a bookish, like, this or that sci-fi edition.
All right.
So, alien or robot?
I think alien.
I think I would pick alien, too. But then again, it's like, I never really know when we play these games. Like, is it, like, we are an alien or robot, or are we wishing to have an alien or robot?
Like, when I look at this question, I think, like, which one would you be more likely to fall in love with?
Okay, so that's completely different than I was even thinking.
But, like, I don't know what's...
Well, I think on all options here, I think I would still pick alien.
Same.
Because an alien is more realistic than a robot, in my mind.
Yeah, like...
A robot can glitch.
I'm like... I don't want to... A robot isn't real, but, like...
I know what you mean.
Yeah, like, I don't know what the word is. But, like, that's not it. Time travel or teleportation?
Teleportation.
100%.
I always have wanted the ability to be able to teleport. I feel like it would save me so much time and it would be so convenient.
Yes.
Especially because I can't even drive right now. Like, just to be able to teleport wherever I wanted.
Yeah, I love the idea of just, like, instantly being somewhere.
Especially, like, think of all the bookstores you could orb into, like, or
I
teleport
would be traveling the world if I could teleport. Like, so fast. Whereas time travel, I feel like there would be so much more, like...
That could go wrong?
Yes! Like, what... If you travel to the past, then you have to worry about, like, what if I accidentally change the present or future?
Right. Because that's what always happens in the books we read.
Or...
It's a ripple effect.
Exactly. Or what if something goes wrong and I'm stuck?
That would be our luck.
In that time zone.
That would be our luck.
But, like, if I teleport and for some reason I can't teleport back, I can still catch a flight. I mean, if I might have to not have the money for it. But, like, there's still a chance of me getting home or being able to call someone for a rescue.
Right.
Like...
So, cyborgs or aliens?
You know, I don't know. It's a little different than the cyborg, or the alien and robot. Because a cyborg is at least part human.
Right.
And, like, I kind of relate to a cyborg, at least a little bit, since I have, like, titanium in me. So I don't know if cyborg wins over alien, though.
I'm intrigued by both. But I like the idea that a cyborg is part human.
Yeah, and at least, like, if you're with a cyborg, you're probably going to be, like, you could be on Earth. Whereas if you're, like, with an alien...
Who knows where you are?
Like, am I going to be expected to, like, live on a different planet?
You might.
I don't want that. So I guess cyborg.
It could be a really cool planet.
Post-apocalyptic or utopian?
Utopian.
I think post-apocalyptic.
Why? Like, the world is, like, ending. Utopian is, like, it's perfect. It's a perfect world.
Yes, but, like, for this one, basing off of books that I've read, I enjoy the post-apocalyptic ones more than the utopian ones.
But there's always something terrible going on.
It'll be entertaining.
So, cyberpunk or space opera?
Okay, so I haven't read very many of either.
Me either.
And most of the ones that I have read, I have not enjoyed. But I think space opera, because I think there's at least one that I liked. Whereas cyberpunk, I can't think of a single one.
Yeah, I feel like I would also go with space opera. Neither are my absolute favorites.
But I think, like, with anything, it could be good if executed well.
Yes, and I can think of a few space operas I've read that had good romance in them, and that was the part I enjoyed.
Yeah, I think most of the time with the space operas, they're just, like, slower paced.
Which isn't always my vibe.
Not a huge fan of the slow ones. So moving into books, we both recently read The Nobody's Baby by Olivia Waite.
Yes, this is book 2 in the Dorothy Gentleman series, and we were gifted a copy from Tor Books, and we both really enjoyed it.
Yeah, and this one is categorized as a sci-fi cozy mystery.
So in this one, you're basically in space, and a baby appears, and the detective is trying to find out who produced the child and why it was abandoned.
Which, like, was an interesting storyline for a cozy mystery. Because normally, like, when you read cozy mysteries, it's either, like, a murder took place.
Exactly.
Or, like, there was a robbery or something. But, no, a baby just appears, and you have to figure out why.
Yeah, I found it I was on it, like, not expecting it, because I didn't really, like, any book, I don't know much about it before I just dive in. And I was like, oh, this isn't what I was expecting at all.
Yeah, I don't know what I was expecting, but this was not it.
But it was good. It was quirky.
It was. So what were your initial thoughts jumping into this one? And did it matter that you hadn't read the previous book, Murder by Memory, before picking this one up?
It was book 2, and I was able to jump into it as a standalone.
Yeah.
But I do think that I would have had a better understanding of, like, the world if I had read book 1 first.
Yeah, I completely agree. Like, it was easy to jump into, but book 1 probably gives more insight as to, like, what the world is and, like, why we were on that ship.
Right, because it was very clear that we were
in space.
And it was very clear we were on, like, a ship. But I didn't really know
why. Exactly.
We were just kind of thrown into it, and I was like, okay, we're here. But you didn't really get to know why you were on there.
Which was fine. It was easy enough to read. Have you ever read a book that blended sci-fi with cozy mystery before? And do you think it made this book stand out in its genre?
I don't think I've ever read a sci-fi cozy mystery before.
Me either. Like, I've read sci-fi with, like, thriller mystery. But this was my first, like, cozy sci-fi mystery.
Right. I feel like most sci-fi books that I've read have been, like, with fantasy. But never with a mystery at all. Especially not a cozy one.
Yeah, like, I feel like sci-fi is not, like, a go-to genre for me. It's usually just, like, lumped in with something that I'm familiar with. Right.
Yeah. So, it's just not a combo I've ever come across before. So, it was refreshing. So, what would you do if you found a random baby on your doorstep?
Okay, first off, I would be very confused. And, like, what is protocol when that happens?
I would think you would contact the authorities.
Like, I honestly don't know that that's, like, where my brain would go. I'd probably be calling you and Mom. Be like, this baby just appeared. What do I do? Help!
Mom would be like, you need to call the police.
Like, Mom, come do it for me.
But, like, in this day and age, I feel like if someone were to just drop a baby on your doorstep, you would be able to see it, like, on your camera or something. Because most people have, like, some sort of camera set up by their front door and their back door and stuff.
So maybe it wouldn't be dropped off, like, on our front porch necessarily, but in that whatever, like, where the camera isn't.
And is this, like, happening on Earth, or is this happening in space, like, in the book? Does that change the outcome?
I think the outcome's the same regardless.
Probably.
But, like, I would think if it's on our doorstep, it would be on Earth.
But I feel like in space, there would be more questions, like, how did it get here? We're on our own planet, like on our spaceship or something.
There'd be so many more questions if we were in space because, like, clearly this happened in our ship. But, like, if no one was pregnant or anything, then, like, so many extra questions.
Right, and in, like, a sci-fi scenario, there could be, like, other species involved. Is it a human baby? Is it, like, an alien baby? Like, what is it?
Would we know right away?
I don't know!
Like, so many questions.
Would that determine, like, what kind of authority you call? I don't know.
Then I'm calling you and Mom.
But if a baby just suddenly, showed up, I would definitely freak out.
I wouldn't know what to do with it.
Well, I'd be like, okay, let's try and find out what we're supposed to do here.
I can only hope that never happens.
So, would you ever have interest in spending years traveling through space?
So, like, the idea fascinates me, but absolutely no desire to go traveling through space. What if I hated it? I would be stuck in space, like, for a long time until the opportunity came back.
Right.
For me to get back to Earth. No, thank you.
Yeah.
I'll stay at Earth.
Yeah. And I know I have no desire to go to space. I'm, like, afraid of heights. I don't even like flying on an airplane. There's no way I'm going to, like, go to a different planet. Because I'd be curious and want to look out, but then I'd probably, like, pass out or something. Like, or have a panic attack. No, thank you.
Like, I think it would be cool. But not enough for that commitment.
It would be cool to say you had the experience of going to space. But I don't think I would actually enjoy the experience.
Yeah, I think I'd rather skip.
I've seen what they have to eat. No, they have to go to the bathroom and stuff. No, thank you.
Yeah, I like food too much to go to space and have to eat space food. So, since this book is a novella, do you think it was the perfect length, or do you wish it would have been longer?
I think it was the perfect length. Nothing lagged, and it wasn't rushed, and everything felt very intentional.
Yeah, it was, like, the perfect length. And I have to say, that is rare for me to say when it comes to, like, a novella. Because usually they feel rushed, or they're missing something. And with this book, I think if it had been longer, it would have felt like it was dragging on. So, like, it was perfect.
Yeah, and I feel like for most novellas I read are romance. And often it feels very, like, insta-lovey and stuff. So I was curious to see, for such a short read, how the mystery was going to be solved without feeling rushed. And it did it perfectly.
Yes, I've read a few, like, mystery novellas. And they are often, like, still rushed. Or you don't get a whole lot of, like, the mystery elements and clues and stuff. But this one did a really good job.
Yes. This next book blends sci-fi with thriller.
It is The Deep Sky. And this was probably my first sci-fi thriller book, and I was really surprised by how much I enjoyed it.
So this one is essentially about, they left Earth to save humanity, they have to save themselves first. There was an explosion on the ship, and they have to figure out who the bomber is.
Yeah, and I loved the main character, Azuka, and I found, like, myself speeding through this book, because I couldn't wait to find out, like, what was going to happen next.
So some of the tropes for this one is it's a locked room mystery, your survival in space, and there are diverse characters.
And, like, this isn't one that I ever would have thought to pick up for myself. Like, I wouldn't have grabbed it at the bookstore, and I think I won this on Goodreads. And, like, I'm so glad I did, because it was so out of my comfort zone, but I loved it. And I think part of that was because it was a locked room mystery.
That's one of the best things about Goodreads giveaways, is anything that even remotely piques your interest, or if you're, like, just going off of the genre or the cover, just enter them all, and that's how I've won so many that I ended up really liking that I know I never would have picked for myself otherwise.
I don't know, I feel like winning giveaways is, like, how I venture out of my comfort zone.
Exactly, because you're not spending money on something you may not like.
Yeah, you just take a chance. If you win, awesome. Give it a try.
That's how I've discovered so many new favorite authors.
Same. And that's how I've discovered Tracy and Rukulik's Hidden Pictures.
Yes, and that's how we've, like, branched out, because we used to only really read cozy mysteries.
I know, look at us!
I know, now we read a little bit of everything. And a lot of it is because of all the romances I kept winning in giveaways and stuff, and, like, different kinds of thrillers. Otherwise, in fantasy, if I wouldn't have won that one big giveaway on Instagram pretty early in my, like, Instagram days, I would have never been reading all these different fantasies.
I know, and now look at us, never reading sci-fi, too.
So, do you think you'd survive space travel?
Like, I suppose I would probably survive, but I don't think I'd like it.
There's no way I'd survive. Not a chance. I'd be really, really surprised if I did.
You might survive, but you wouldn't be happy about it.
And neither would anyone around me. I'd be miserable. And I'd make sure you knew about it.
I feel like everyone would be trying to figure out how to get you back to Earth.
They would! They'd be like, get her out of here. She's just making this awful.
She hates it here. We hate
So if you were the only surviving witness of an explosion and everyone's prime suspect, would you try to figure out the truth and clear your name?
I'd like to think so. I don't know how, like, good I would be at, like, solving the case. Or, like, clearing my name, but I would definitely want to try.
Right. Yeah, I would be all for trying to clear my name, but I wouldn't even know how to, like, navigate that at all. Like, would you have to you would have to know the right people, I think, to help you figure that out.
And if it's, like, a small group of people that are on the ship with you, and what if there's not, like, already some level of trust?
Right.
I feel like people wouldn't believe me.
Right, because it could be like an everybody's out for themselves type mindset.
And like, I don't know about you, but I feel like even when I tell the truth, sometimes people just don't believe me.
Oh, always.
So like, I feel like in that scenario, like, I'm gonna be on my own.
Yeah, I'm known to exaggerate here and there. So people always think everything I'm saying is an exaggeration, and they don't always trust what I'm saying.
Well, I feel like there's two extremes. Either everyone takes what I say as fact, or everyone thinks I'm lying. Like, there's no in between.
Right.
It just depends on who the person is. And I'm like, I don't know why.
And a lot of times I'm like, you think I'm lying anyways, so why am I bothering to tell the truth?
I'm like, I usually do a disclaimer, like, I don't know if this is true, but
this is my best guess.
And people still take that as fact, and I don't know why.
So, this next book combines sci-fi with romance.
And is Uprooted by Kennedy Rhodes, and the author sent us both a copy of this a while back.
Yes, and the tagline for this one is, it's difficult to save a planet when you're totally distracted by a hot blue alien. This caught my attention right away.
I enjoyed this one. It was really good. So the tropes for this one are he falls first, opposites attract, fated mates, alien romance, and some spice.
So which of these tropes grabs your attention?
He falls first, fated mates, and opposites attract.
I was immediately drawn by alien romance.
And this was our first alien romance.
It was, and I think that's why I was so intrigued by it, because I didn't know what to expect going in. Yeah. Like, I've read monster romances, but never something with an alien.
I know, and I guess alien romance is not that different from monster romance.
No, but it's like the whole idea.
Just you're in space now.
Right. It's completely different. It's a different setting. It's just all a different dynamic of everything.
So, like, with this being our first alien romance, how do you imagine yourself falling for a hot blue alien?
If I was single, I guess I wouldn't rule it out. But I've never been attracted to a blue alien, so I don't know.
Like, I feel like maybe if the personality was right. Like, I've never really looked at people, like, for looks.
Right.
So, like, could I fall for a blue alien? Maybe.
Right.
I don't know.
It's kind of like the whole Beauty and the Beast situation. Like, you can look past things and see them for who they are and not necessarily what they look like as a beast.
But I would definitely, like, have concerns. Like, trying to figure out, like, how that relationship would work.
It would probably be, like, a long-distance situation.
And I don't think I would want a long-distance relationship, so maybe not. I don't know. So what was your initial reaction to the author's writing style and the pacing of this book?
I think the pacing was on point, and it really catches your attention right away, and it keeps it until the very end. And I really thought that the writing style had a really nice flow to it.
Yeah, this one was really easy to read, and the pacing was perfect. And, like, with it being a sci-fi book and you being, like, in space, sometimes I feel like it can be over your head.
Right.
And this one was, like, the perfect amount of information and world building without ever feeling like it was too much.
Right. Yeah, because sometimes it's like you're having to refer to a glossary and some kind of index that explains, like, a bunch of maps and different things and the different terms for what's going on, and it wasn't like that at all.
I don't like it when I feel like I have to do homework
in order to understand what you're trying to read.
I shouldn't have to be constantly flipping back to a book to try and figure out what things mean. And I feel like, especially with, like, science fiction and stuff, the more, like, science and, like, exclamations you throw into things as to, like, how things are possible, the more I feel like I'm reading a textbook.
Yes.
And, like, I don't understand any of it.
And it takes the fun out of it.
Yeah.
And that wasn't the case here.
No, this one was, like, perfect amount of information without being, like, overloading. So, another great sci-fi inspired book was Starbringer by Tracy Wolff and Nina Croft. And the next book actually comes out in January of next year.
I haven't read this one, but I've heard really great things about it.
I think you would probably like it. But with it being a little sci-fi, and I know sci-fi isn't always your thing, it could go either way.
Yeah. I feel like I'm a wild card in a lot of these books.
I think it would really just depend on if you like the characters and their relationships or not.
So, a brief synopsis of this one is the sun is dying and it's happening way too fast. 7 strangers with deadly secrets are trapped together. A princess, a prisoner, a con artist, a warrior, a priestess, a mercenary, and an asshole in charge of us all.
Yeah, so this one is a space opera with enemies to lovers. You have Grumpy Sunshine, found family, forced proximity, and multiple POV.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, I really enjoyed this one, but it was a bit of a struggle for me to actually get through.
Gotcha.
Because, like, Starbringer had like, more grown-up Lunar Chronicle vibes, which, you know, one of my favorite series.
Right.
And, like, it was similar with the found family trope and, like, your unique cast of characters. And, like, I love the story of this one, but I struggled with the spice level, and it had so much strong language.
Gotcha.
That, like, I needed a break and had to put this one down and, like, read something lighter in between chapters.
Gotcha.
Which I never have to do.
Right.
But, like, this was also one of my first books of this genre, and, like, I was still new to spice with this.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, it was heavy.
Was it, like, purposeful at least?
Sometimes.
Oh, so not always.
like, you could have gone without at least a couple of the scenes.
Oh, gotcha. Gotcha. So one of our absolute favorite series is the Lunar Chronicles by Marissa Meyer, which we talk about quite a bit on this podcast.
I'm sure you've heard of us talk about it quite a bit. And, like, for me, Cinder was the first character that I ever felt like I could relate to.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, even now, it's been years since I read the series, and there is still, like, very few characters I've ever related to.
Right.
And I still think it's weird that I related to a cyborg of all characters.
Right.
And I'm like, it's only because, like, I have titanium and she's a cyborg. Like, not very much.
Mm-hmm.
And then she didn't have memories from before age 13, and neither do I.
Mm-hmm.
Completely different reasons, but, like, still, that little bit gave me a character.
So the books in this series are, you have Cinder, which follows Cinderella, and Scarlet is Red Riding Hood, Cress is Rapunzel, and Winter is Snow White.
Mm-hmm. So what makes you think that the found family trope is so good and successful?
Well, I think with, like, the found family trope, you have characters that wouldn't normally be grouped together, and they end up forming a strong bond and creating, like, a sense of family. And this is exactly what was shown throughout this series. And I think that these certain, like, situations bring them together and help them form that connection.
Yeah.
And I think that the idea of that is just so, like, beautiful. And
yeah.
Because everyone wants to belong somewhere.
Yes.
And not everyone is set up with a family like that. So to be able to find that in, like, other people you encounter throughout your life is just, I don't know, it tugs at your heartstrings.
I love those tropes so much. And, like, I love that it's usually an unlikely group of people.
Yes.
And, like, they always, like, grow to accept one another and just, like, they become family, and I love it.
Mm-hmm.
So one I read and loved recently that was kind of related to Cinder, but not really. You have Road Princess by B.R. Myers, which is a gender-swapped sci-fi retelling of Cinderella.
Okay.
And, like, this one is great if you like the idea of, like, a sci-fi Cinderella story, but you don't want, like, a serious commitment like the Lunar Chronicles.
Right, because that one is, like, it is a chunky series.
Yeah, 4 books, but they're big books.
And there's half books.
Mm-hmm. And there's the spin-off graphic novels as well.
Which I adored.
Mm-hmm.
So this one is about Princess Delia, who knows her duty, and she must choose a prince to marry in order to secure an alliance and save her failing planet.
And the tropes for this one are arranged marriage, slow burn, you have twists and turns, and, of course, it's a Cinderella retelling.
So how do you feel, like, about the arranged marriage trope?
Like, I like it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's not my favorite trope, but I usually enjoy it when I'm reading it.
I haven't read it too much.
Same.
It just reminds me of Aladdin with Princess Jasmine and that whole situation. So I just always think to that because Aladdin and Princess Jasmine was, like, my favorite growing up. And so, like, I always go into it thinking of that.
Mm-hmm.
And I often enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
But I can only say that I've read, like, a handful of them.
Yeah. So, like, if you were a princess, would you agree to an arranged marriage to secure an alliance for your country? Or in this case, planet? Or do you think you'd be running away like Delia?
I think it would really just depend on the situation to determine if I would, like, be willing to participate or not. Like, am I already in love with someone else? And, like, do I have hopes and dreams that wouldn't be able to be met if I agreed to this arranged marriage? Like, some of this, like, might seem selfish, but I don't think it'd be fair to expect someone to, like, sacrifice all their hopes and dreams just to secure an alliance. And I might be running away.
Oh, I would want to run away so bad. Like, I feel like I would probably cave and agree.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if I knew for sure that it was, like, what was best for my country.
Mm-hmm.
But my goodness, I would want to run away. I would not want to.
It's hard to wrap my head around that whole situation. But if I wasn't involved with anybody and I didn't have feelings for someone else, then I would obviously be more open to it. Because I'd be thinking of, like, the greater good. Oh, this would be so helpful for so many people. Of course.
Mm-hmm. I feel like there would have to be a better way than a marriage alliance.
Because I feel like you would feel like you wouldn't have your freedom.
Yeah, like, I would be looking for other ways to have an alliance without, like, sacrificing myself to marry someone I didn't love.
It just seems so old school to me, like, the whole concept. But I still enjoy reading about it.
Yeah, I feel like there's gotta be a better way. So what are your thoughts on gender swap tales? Do you like the idea of a male Cinderella?
I don't have a problem with gender swap tales, but I do kind of have a hard time wrapping my head around, like, a male Cinderella character.
I just think of, Rags, that, Nickelodeon movie.
Yes. But, like, typically I just think of, like, your typical Cinderella princess. Mm-hmm. And in this type of story, I need to, like, go into it without being presented as, like, a retelling. It needs to be more as, like, its own story.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I have a hard time visualizing it as I'm reading.
This one didn't, although it is, like, a Cinderella retelling, it didn't feel like a Cinderella retelling as much.
So it just had, like, some nods to it? Mm-hmm.
So, like, I think this one would be easier to get into as a gender swap tale.
Because I have read, not many gender swap tales, but I have read Beauty and the Beast one.
Yes.
And I really struggled with that one. I loved the concept, but I just could not keep the characters straight. Because in my mind, I was like, what is happening? I can't wrap my head around this. I cannot follow the story.
Like, the girl is the beast.
But it wasn't working. Like, it was playing tricks with me, and I just couldn't do it. It was a struggle.
I know, sometimes it's hard to wrap, or to change your perception of, like, what the character is supposed to be. Yes, because it's, like,
what you know.
Mm-hmm. A series we both read was the Generations Trilogy by Sigler, and the books in this series are Alive, Alight, and Alone.
I actually only read the first book in this series, because I soon learned it wasn't my cup of tea.
Like, I know I read the first two books, and I know I started the third book, but I think too much time had passed, and I got a little confused, and it just got shelved for the time being. But I really enjoyed what I did read.
So, a brief synopsis of this one is, a teenage girl awakens to find herself trapped in a coffin. She has no idea who she is, where she is, or how she got there. Fighting her way free brings little relief. She discovers only a room lined with caskets and a handful of equally mystified survivors. Beyond the room lies a corridor filled with bones, dust, but no people and no answers.
So, the first book in this series had a bit of, like, Maze Runner vibes to me. And, like, more so with, like, how they woke up not knowing who they were or how they got there and how they roamed around, like, the maze-like corridors.
Yes. And I think that, okay, I vividly remember the first chapter.
Oh, such a good first chapter.
It was such a good chapter. And I was 100% hooked. Mm. And then once they started, like, all walking around, I felt like it was a little repetitive, and I lost interest.
Yeah, like, it went from, like, a captivating, like, thriller, mystery chapter into, like, really diving deep into, like, sci-fi weirdness.
And that is where I got lost, because I was on board with that first chapter. It felt like I was reading a really, like, intriguing thriller. I was hooked. And then I was just like, what am I reading? What is happening? Why? Why am I doing this? And I learned I did not need to continue the series. But I know if you like sci-fi more than I do, then it would be good.
Yeah. So, like, the other books in the series had a completely different feel than the first book. And I think part of that was just, like, the setting. Because, like, the second book, you were mostly on other planets.
Okay.
Whereas, like, the first book, you were just on the ship trying to figure out what is going on.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, completely different vibes.
Right.
So, like, you wake up in a coffin and you have to fight to get out. Only to find yourself in a room full of coffins trapped with other people. Like, how are you reacting?
Well, obviously I'm freaking out.
For sure.
Because I wouldn't even know who I am, or why I'm there, or who these people are.
I would be in a confused panic.
Why are there coffins? Are we all gonna die? Like...
Now, do you think you would be helping the other people get out of the coffins? Or would you be, like, scared to help them because, like, you don't trust what's going on?
Well, obviously I wouldn't trust them or the situation, but I feel like I would acknowledge that my only way, like, my only real hope of getting out and surviving would be to, like, help them and have them help me.
I think so, too.
Because, let's face it, I don't got no skills. I'd be so, like, crippled with fear and anxiety. I would be useless, I feel.
I have a strange set of skills, none of which I think would be helpful in the scenario. like, I have a lot of skills, but I don't think they would help me in this. So, let's say you're the first one out. Do you think everyone would automatically look to you as the leader, and would you accept that role?
I would hope someone else would step up as a leader. But if they were, like, all really dumb and I didn't agree with anything that they were saying or doing, I would probably get my bossy pants on. Because I can be quite good at that and take control of a situation if it's necessary.
Like, I feel like I would step up if absolutely necessary, but I would be hoping that anyone else would take the leadership role.
Right.
But, like, if I thought I knew what was best, then I suppose so.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, I would assume someone else would know something more than me.
I would hope that at least one person would have the same view as me on the situation and be on my side. Mm. And maybe we could strike it on our own against all the dumb people. I don't know. But I feel like in a situation like that, it'd probably be better to work together. So when I read in the very beginning of my sci-fi journey was Illuminae by Amie Kaufman and J. Kristoff. So this is part of a trilogy. Mm-hmm. So the first book is Illuminae, the second book is Gemina, and the third book is Obsidio. And I really, really enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm. I have all three books. I just haven't picked them up yet because they are, like, bigger. Mm-hmm. And I don't even know where they are on my shelf. I think they're tucked behind superheroes and I have to be on the step stool to grab them.
I have only read the first book, and I keep meaning to go back, but so much time has passed now, I'm wondering if I'll remember enough about the story.
You may have to start over.
But I also don't know where mine are in the library, because I don't really have many sci-fi books, so it's not like I have, like, a designated section for them in the library.
Yeah, they just kind of get shuffled to wherever.
Exactly. Fits. Wherever there's an opening is where they get put, and I don't know where that part is, like, right now.
So, this series is told through a fascinating compilation of hash documents. It includes emails, maps, files, IMs, medical reports, interviews, and more.
Yeah, and I think that this is what made it so engaging and such a quick read, because they are quite chunky. Mm-hmm. But the formatting makes it go really fast.
I do like the mixed media
elements. I know. That's why I think you'll really like it. Mm-hmm. And it was, like, there was a love story aspect, which is why I think I enjoyed it.
That makes sense.
Mm-hmm. If it wasn't for that part of the story, I'm not sure I would have been able to really get into it. Mm-hmm. So do you find that mixed media elements in a book add to the story, or are they distracting and unnecessary?
I find that usually helps a book be, like, more immersive. Mm-hmm. And, like, I feel more invested in the story. But I think also it depends on how it's executed. Mm-hmm. Is it adding to the book, or is it taking away?
Right.
I feel like, for the most part, I would say it helps.
I really think it depends. Because is it something that's just sprinkled throughout the book, or is it the way the entire book is told?
I don't know that I've read one that the entire book was.
Okay, well, that is what I believe you will find with this. Mm-hmm. And there's other books that are like that, like Janice Hillette books.
Okay.
They're all told through, like, letters and things. Mm-hmm. There is no other. And some Meg Cabot books also are told that way.
Yeah, like, I've read, most of the books that I've read that have mixed media. It's just sprinkled.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I'm very curious what it's like for it to be, like, the entire book.
There are times where I can find it a little harder to follow the story, but I still really like it.
Gotcha. So, do you think stories like this, with this kind of setting, make the action more intense, or do you think it's harder to connect to the characters?
I think it makes it more intense, and I don't think it makes it harder to connect to the characters, because usually it's, like, a high-stakes situation, and, like, there's tension, and, you know, they're fighting for each other or something like that.
Yeah, I think for me, it really just depends on how well it's executed.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it could make it better, it could make it worse.
But I guess I can see how sometimes it could be harder to connect the characters because you're not necessarily getting their perspectives on everything.
Yeah.
So I guess it just depends.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you for tuning into Bookish Sisters podcast. Please make sure to tune into our next episode. Happy reading.